Streets of Cincinnati, welcome to the jungle! Let's go. Stripes, 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 yeah, stripes, 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 yeah. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who day we ignite and Cincinnati, we gon' rise and in the jungle we unite and dripping orange and black and white. Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Wake up the beast, every day is a feast. Time to bust it off the leash. In the jungle dripping heat, tigers stripe the city streets. East side stand up, west side stand up. If you reppin' who day, time to put your hands up. Bengals stripes, we in it. New day, new age, yeah, we get it. Cincinnati jungle fit it. Who they in our house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earn our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping. Nasty natty, yeah, we lit it. Lit the crowd, get the city loud. Yeah, we feasting now. Fit the pounce, make the city howl. Now we beastin' now. Thunder through the tunnel, from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes we tatted on the jungle when we flex that who they muscle on them. Stripes, Cincinnati, we gon' rise and in the jungle we unite and dripping orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Stripes. Now who wanna move crossing on? Stripes. Now who wanna move on? If you got stripes and you let the city know you rock 'em, yeah we got 'em, yeah we fought 'em. Like that black and orange upon 'em, bingo bottle, never stop it till the beast on feastin' on 'em. Who they rockin' with the diamond stripes, flossing on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen, we gon' show the world who king. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who day we ignite and Cincinnati, we gon' rise and in the jungle we unite and dripping orange and black and white. Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Now who wanna move crossing on? Now who wanna move on? Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, the Iceman, Jeff Trunapole. And as always, I'm bringing you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio. Home of, as of right now, the first place Cincinnati Bengals. Now, do me a favor, if you found the show, hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that thumbs up. I'm up to 1,424 subscribers. That is awesome. As always, I appreciate every single one of you guys. Now, if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, do me a favor, and you have yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so. Go to Sports with Strawberry Ice on YouTube. Hit the subscription button, hit the bell for the notification, and every time I go live, you'll be notified. Also, exclusively in the YouTube chat crew, we're doing super chats. So if you like to support what I'm doing or make sure your comment gets read, give me a super chat. I would greatly appreciate it. Now I'm coming to you live from the Ice Cave, and the Ice Cave is brought to you by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out their website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. All right, guys, we haven't got to do this in about 2 weeks, but this is a Bengals Victory Monday show. Bengals win a slobber knocker 15-10. Let's bring on my boy Cap. What up, Cap?
Who day?
Who day, brother? Who day? Who day? We haven't got to do a Bengals Victory Monday show in a while.
Yeah, a couple weeks. It happens. Had to, somebody on Twitter mentioned that their recommendation is Blanton's, and I get really weird and OCD because it's hard to find. I said, screw it. Let's break open the bottle. I'm drinking Blanton's.
There you go.
Little celebration. First place.
Now I'll just try to make sure I don't make you laugh while you're drinking, so you don't almost die. All right.
Make sure it's going down the right hole.
Yes, exactly. You had that problem a lot finding. Never mind. See what happens when you come on the show. I'm not even drinking.
Not yet.
All right, show's going off the rails already. So let's get into Sunday's game already.
I'm a bad influence. Blame that on me.
See, I don't need much help. I'm already there. So, so the Bengals won 15-10 in a defensive struggle. And what kind of irritates me is a lot of guys that worked last night, a lot of people on Twitter and stuff like that said, "Oh, Bengals got lucky." I said, "Seriously?" I said, "Do you know how good of a defense Denver is? Do you know how good of a secondary Denver has?" I think they played a very smart game, and I think defensively, the Bengals showed up. I mean, the four defensive linemen all got game balls from Zach. Trey Hendrickson got his 10th straight sack in 10 straight games, which was one shy of the record. I think it was a well-played game. What do you think there, Cap?
You know what? It like Zach said, it wasn't pretty. Joe said the same thing. You know what? It wasn't pretty, but it's the exact type of game we have to win. People forget, and I've been harping on Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs. They put a whooping on them, but one of them was a defensive touchdown. Pat Mahomes had 0 TDs and 1 pick, and I think that was also maybe a pick 6 going the other way. I can't remember the details, but I know they scored as a result of a Mahomes mistake. It's a tough defense. I honestly, maybe I'm dumb. I was thinking maybe we could loosen it up a little bit more, but you got to think receivers. We got a new guy who's basically trending to be number 1, Jamar Chase, phenomenal athlete. And if the playbook has changed as a result, they've still got to gel a little bit. They've still got to get their stuff together. I think James Rapine was talking about it, he was down there watching and they were clamped.
Right.
That is the type of game that we have always lost. And I say always, it's not really been always, but for most of our lives, from what we were 90s, 2000s, Palmer, Dalton, Marvin Lewis stuff.
Yep.
We've lost that game.
Yep.
We are winning those type of games.
Wait. Are you saying Zach Taylor won a close game?
Absolutely.
I didn't think Zach did those.
Of course, everything, somebody sees something, confirmation bias, somebody sees something that they think can confirm their hate. They latch on.
Yep.
And we saw a lot of that after a great win when we could be celebrating. I spent the morning arguing. I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I'm muting the conversation. I'm going to join my Blantons and my first place Bengals.
Absolutely.
Although I wanted to wear my division champs hat.
Yeah.
And I think Hube has it. So she's great minds think alike.
There you go. Somebody was in the chat career was shouting out my hat. Yeah, it's my early Christmas present for my son, Prince Ice. And the cool thing too is he got strawberry ice on the side. So I love this hat. It's cool. I like the big Bengal and all the words. I love hats. I wear hats all the time. So I'll probably wear this.
I like words.
Sunday. I like words and I like hats. I like all of it. But yeah, I mean, one thing I do want to say is Chase and Burrow still made an unbelievable play that did not count because Quentin Spain got called for holding, which I watched that. Yes, exactly. I was like, that's kind of a ticky-tack BS holding call. But, I mean, still, the play was unbelievable. He got out of a sack, made 2 guys miss, and chucked it to Chase and hit him.
Yeah, that call, just imagine this horse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right about there was that call.
Right. And the thing is, Joe is moving really well on his knee. I mean, he's making plays.
Oh,
he's moving. Yeah.
Okay. Was it left knee or right knee?
Left. Right knee.
He is sliding down on his knees.
Right.
And every time I'm like, oh, stop, dude, stop.
Right.
And he's fine. I think, you know what? I think he's back 100%. I think
he's almost getting close.
The pinky's back at least 90%.
The pinky hasn't even been a problem. I mean, I haven't noticed anything with the pinky.
There were some throws against the Niners, and he said he was about 85%, which, again, might have went into some of the decision-making on when they're throwing it. Oh boy.
What we got?
So Raiders are up 7-0.
Yeah.
And it looks, I just glanced over and it looks like somebody fumbled, and Edwards fumbled
For the Raiders?
and Renfro ran back. Oh yeah. It just got slippery and you can't do that. And, but Raiders are covered.
Okay.
They may have lost them.
Yeah. We want the Raiders. Well, the funny thing is they pushed the game back, and neither one of the quarterbacks, the Clowns first string or second string, could still play.
They got a couple guys back that it sounded like they were trying to make excuses that, oh yeah, no, that's great, that's all we need. Oh man, and then a drop.
Yeah.
But hey, 7-0.
Matty says he's sliding on his right knee because I told him to remember ice. I told him to slide on his knees with no brace, which actually I can confirm Matty did.
There you go. There you go. Okay.
So it's all Matty Myers. That's the reason.
You don't want to mess up the brace.
No. Now, one thing. Now, at the time, I was pissed off he did this, but when he slid in the fourth quarter and took the sack, I was like, "What are you doing?" But hindsight, again, I'm like, actually, that was pretty good because he kept the clock moving. I wasn't sure why he did that. I thought just throw the ball out of bounds, because there was a couple of times where he's holding on to the ball, trying to find somebody open, and he got the sack. And it wasn't necessarily that the offensive line played bad. It was a coverage sack. He had nowhere to go with the ball.
Yep. And looking back, I think we've had a couple people, Jake, the usual suspects, Jake, Sands, Matt, Coach Minnick, everybody said, oh, well, I don't know why he didn't go here, or I don't know why, whatever, but, a fraction of a second later, he had pressure. So, you know what? It happens. He's still going to grow. He's still going to get better. I think his processing is going to improve. I don't think it's where it was.
He's so smart, though. He's such a smart football player.
I have no worries. Everybody who wants, just let him win it. Let him win it. Like, well, if we can win it other ways, I'm sure they called a timeout before that running play.
Mm-hmm.
They talked. I know for a fact they talked about a pass. I know for a fact during that timeout, they talked about that. The play went run. Did who said what, who disagreed with what, who was all for what, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think they're just absolutely ignoring Burrow there.
No.
So when he gets better and better and better to the point where he's basically running the offense on the field, he's going to get every chance to throw every down that he wants. But even against the Denver defense that has shut down Pat Mahomes, maybe we still run.
Yep.
So
shout out, got a super chat from Dustin Croft, 499. Appreciate it. Said, Houday, like to see more production out of Mixon. He's missing that burst since the Squealers game. Need him down the stretch. And well, they again, that defense is hard to run onto. It's a very, very good defense.
Mix has been a little dinged up.
Yeah, well, he tweaked his ankle a little bit, I think, yesterday too, which that's scary because he couldn't get off the field. I'm like, oh my goodness, get up. But one thing I want to bring up, and this is something I kind of brought up beginning of the year, is the Bengals are built to beat you any way they can. We can beat you in a defensive game like this. We can beat you in a shootout. We can beat you in just, a complete game, running, passing off. This team is built for the playoffs. It's built to be able to beat teams no matter how they want to play us, because we've won in so many different. We've won in blowouts. We've won in close games. We've won in defensive struggles. I mean, and that's where that's one of the most important things that I don't think Bengals teams of old have been able to do. Is to win every type of way. And this is. And I'm not going to take credit for it. Somebody said this on NFL Network. This is what the New England Patriots can always do. They can beat you however you want to play. They can beat you, and that's what the Bengals can do now. So I'm very, very excited with the way. I mean, look, was yesterday's game absolute fun to watch? No, it's kind of boring, but they won, so I don't care. Like, as long as they win, I don't give a crap how they win.
It depends on what you're into, though, because I used to love great running games. And I used to love defensive battles.
Right.
So, this idea that you know what, you don't have confidence in Joe winning, and that's why you want to run there. You know what? I can say you don't have confidence in our defense to absolutely destroy Locke.
Dude,
I mean,
Khalid Kareem. Khalid Kareem. What a freaking play. Played 13 snaps and made an impact on all 13 of them.
and people trying to say luck like that, you know what?
Nah.
He recognized where the ball was and he went for it.
He snatched
Duloc
it.
was lazy with the ball and he recognized it. Otherwise, it just might have been a tackle.
Yeah.
But no, he went for the ball and he grabbed the ball. That's a little better than luck. I realize turnovers can be luck. It's where it bounces or whatever. No. He went for that ball and he got it. It wasn't the perfectly timed, placed helmet to the ball hit and all this other stuff that has to go right. No.
He stuck it right there, ripped it out.
He swatted at the ball. He got it.
Yep. All right, Terry says, which this is true, the most important stat from yesterday was 0 turnovers. As long as we keep that stat, we should win. And that's back-to-back weeks with 0 turnover. Or, I mean, as far as Joe goes, I should say, for him, back-to-back weeks. Dalton Signatures, you got to follow him on Twitter. He's awesome. He's a great graphic designer. Check him out. And he's a great follow on Twitter. But he wants to how do we feel about the running game? I'm okay with it. I mean, sometimes it just depends on the game. That's one thing everybody wants. It seems like to me, everybody's like, okay, you play this way, and every game's the same. Every game's not the same. Sometimes you can run a lot, sometimes you can't. Sometimes it's just like yesterday, everything's a freaking struggle, and you make a play to Tyler Boyd and you bust the game open and take the lead. And I want to bring up Cap here. Everybody says, Zach should be more aggressive. Well, how about the play going into the halftime there, where the Denver Broncos missed the field goal? We don't kneel on it. We sling it down there. TB catches a pass. We're on the field, and Money Mac, I guess that's the way it wants to be called, hits a 58-yard, or I think it's 58-yard.
Yep.
Longest field goal in Bengals history. Crushed it. He could have hit it from 60.
And that's the thing. Marvin Lewis, I 99.9% guarantee he would have taken an E.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
That field goal right there meant the world in a close game right before halftime. That was a kick in the horse.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So they got to go to their locker room seeing that. We got to go like, hey, we stole 3 points.
So if I stole it, awesome. Yeah. Cap wants to know if you ever had Johnny Walker Blue.
Crypt, yes, I have. Good stuff.
And Chris is kind of saying what I'm saying, winning in different ways this year. Exactly. That's what winning teams do. And look, and the thing is, for all these people who are mad at Zach for not going for it, I got two things where it's not always good to go for it. The Chargers game, he went for it on every fourth down. If he kicks a field goal on one of those, he'll probably win the game. And then the Ratbirds game yesterday. I mean, they go for it, which I'm glad they did this. They go for the 2-point conversion to win at home, which I would have just kicked the field goal. You're at home, dude. But he goes for it again for a 2-point conversion and doesn't get it. So to me, it's like everybody always wants Zach to go for it. Sometimes it's smarter to not go for it. And yesterday, I think, is an indication of that.
Well, I can't remember the analytics company, sports, EDP, EDM, something sports. They wrote an article about that, and they absolutely disagreed. And apparently, the analytics disagreed with Harbaugh's decisions in that game. So, you know what? This is a team that got all those high marks for the best analytic minds in the NFL, and they trust the data, blah, blah, blah. So they guarantee they had the data, and Harbaugh basically ignored it, made all the wrong choices. It happens. It absolutely happens. Sometimes the game of football, coaches, every coach will do it. They'll go by their gut.
Right.
Now, that doesn't excuse when Zach Taylor comes out and says he lost sleep over not letting Burrow throw a few more times in a game where the clock wasn't an issue. That's the most important. I had people trying to say it's the exact same scenario. No, it's not.
It's not.
When you're talking about football, when you're talking about all the complexities of the NFL game, they couldn't be any more different between the 49ers and what we saw yesterday. clock was not an issue. What was the issue was you score a touchdown there, the game ends. It's over. There's no coming back from that. There's no Hail Mary. There's no, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So you have no risk. Now, going for it instead of kicking the field goal might have been a little bit closer to what we saw yesterday, which, I wouldn't have. Defense played well the last couple of drives, but people pointed out Kittle burned us.
No,
Jimmy
their tight
G,
end burned it. We still can't cover the tight end. That's
Jimmy G was a little hot, even though we had a couple of good drives against him. He was a little hot overall. So seeing that, give the Burrow a few more times. The biggest thing about that is we were already within field goal range. You could have given the ball to Burrow and let him throw 3 times and then still kicked a field goal if they didn't work. You could have done that. That's what bothered Zach. That's why he second-guessed himself, and it sounds like he committed to a philosophy change on what he's going to do going forward. Yesterday, that wasn't the case at all. No timeouts, barely any time on the clock for a guy like Drew.
And they're trying. The thing is, they're trying to run clock too. You're going to run more clock by running the ball too.
Exactly. So absolutely the right call. Absolutely the right call. That does not absolve him of his own admission the week prior, and that does not make anybody forget that the next time we're in a situation like the Chiefs, we better see some passing.
Yeah,
we're going to be upset if we don't see some passing. We better see some passing in a similar situation.
All right, Blackthorn and Bro Flush Chair both got good points here. Shout out to Eli Apple. He said it was awesome. Exactly. And so ZT, he's keeping the Jackson Carman and Fred Johnson until otherwise proven. I think Jackson Carman stepped up. Eli Apple, I mean, he saved the touchdown. That was a great. I thought he was beat. He was beat. He busted his ass and got his hand in there and ripped the ball out. I'm like,
that to me is textbook. You know what? I've played some tackle football, in the backyard. I played some flag football. I like to think I'm coordinated, and a lot of the times I'm watching a dude turn and I'm waiting for the hands to come out, and I've got my hands up, ready to swat down or chop the minute I see brown football.
Right.
I don't know why more people don't do it. They're coached that way. I think a lot of guys get greedy or forget where they are, or they're just trying to think about catching up. Eli, perfect moment. Waited, saw it, chopped it out. I was ecstatic. That was a phenomenal play by game-saving type of play early by Eli Apple.
Let's just think of this. Where would this team be without Eli Apple? I mean,
we've seen it. How many times have we gotten just absolutely torched later in the year because we're digging guys off the practice squad, and I know they're trying, and I know not everybody on the practice squad. We've got great talent, starting quality talent on the practice squad at times. So no disrespect to them, but you're throwing these guys who haven't been able to latch on elsewhere into a system they got to learn in a week and hoping and praying they work out. And it hasn't been good. Eli was not intended to be that starting corner, and he has been. He was thrust into that. And honestly, he's grown. He's become better
and better
as
every week.
The season went on.
Yeah, and
absolutely. Cheers, Eli. Hell yeah. Who
another shout out here, Jermaine Pratt. Like I said, just like Bro Share here says, has played extremely well since Logan Wilson went down with that shoulder, and that's another thing that championship teams do. Next man step up, and this is one thing that I'll admit I was worried about was our depth at linebacker, our depth at offensive line. But yesterday they played great, and so I mean maybe the Bengals knew what they were talking about. I don't know.
Yeah, everybody was ripping our depth, and lo and behold, you know what? Maybe you could rip the youth, but it looks like these guys are learning at a very rapid pace now. Pratt's been around, And I mean, honestly, but even before yesterday, I think he's been playing great. Like these guys that they invested in, and they really tried to remake that whole linebacking core. First thing Zach stepped in the door. I think the plan worked perfectly. We have linebackers we can trust. Yeah, there were some tackling issues against the Jets, maybe some more tackling issues against the Browns, but at least with the Browns it's a little bit different. Nick Chubb's known for breaking tackles. They deserve credit. The coaching staff deserves credit. Any talent evaluator, scout, Dick Tobin, great job. We've got a good core unit that can absolutely get better.
Now, I didn't see this, but Chris is saying, did anyone notice Jackson Carman's half cast on one hand? What's up with that? I didn't notice that yesterday at all.
I didn't either.
I missed that one.
Let me see what I can find on.
That's a new one on me.
Getty Images.
Let's see here, Blackthorn. Let's get with yours. When I first started playing football, what stuck out to me most first was how much the helmet restricts your peripheral vision, makes Apple's play even more impressive. Yeah, and that's these are the things that you have to have happen for championship games. You have to have people. You have to make plays that you don't expect. It happens every year. You have these things. Not that you have to get lucky, but you have to make plays, and guys have to play better than you thought they were, and that's what's happening this year. And let's be honest, if the Browns lose or Clowns lose today, I think next week is for the division. I mean, no matter what we do with the Browns, I think we'll definitely knock the Ratbirds out for sure if we beat them, which we have. We know we can blow them out. Now, we've done way better on the road than we have at home. We've only lost, I think, 2 games on the road. And I think we've only won like 3 games at home or something like that. So hopefully the Bengals will show up and play like they did in Baltimore and blow them out 41 to whatever it was last time. That would be nice. But
just remember, we absolutely whipped the Steelers away and at home. So
yep.
I'm hoping for the same.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, I mean, and it depends. I would think Lamar Jackson would be back next week. But either way, I'm not scared because we beat him with Lamar Jackson playing last time. So
we beat him with Lamar Jackson healthy, and even if he comes back, he's not going to be 100%. His mobility is going to suffer as a result, which to me, you know what, fine. If he gets lucky in a game and just doesn't run, doesn't escape sacks, and is just throwing lasers with his arm, great, I'm wrong. But most of the time, I am not worried about Lamar Jackson beating me with deep accuracy in the pocket.
Right,
I'm not worried at all.
Now, I put a poll question out there. I'm checking it out now that if Trey Hendrickson, in people's opinion, is the biggest and best free agent that the Bengals have ever signed. And so far, it's 98% yes and 2% no. So, which, I mean, I think as far as production goes, I can't think of one that's come in and made this big of an impact. I mean, I'm not talking about big names. I'm just talking about production during the season. I mean, he is an absolute beast. I mean, let's talk about that last drive. I think it was the last 2 drives that Denver had. He got 2 holding calls on them because they couldn't stop
and that's after they finally started calling holding.
Right. Yes, exactly.
I mean,
against the Broncos, they called it against us.
all I remember seeing repeatedly was a Bronco just whispering in his ear with all I saw neck.
Oh,
and
yes,
this is Trey
that was
over
horrendous.
and over.
Yes,
and then just imagine John Elway just blow a little.
Yeah.
You know,
there was one where they literally had their arm wrapped around him, and I think it's Bridgewater running away, and then they call him. I'm going, that's a freaking hold. Like, he's choking him. Like, how did I?
And I get it. Lisco was talking about, Trey using the rip move, and they don't typically call. And I get it. You know, if you're going to get yourself in position where the offensive lineman's arm is around your neck because of a move, fine. But when they don't let go and they continue to hold,
it's a choke.
That is a flag.
Yeah, I don't care what if it's a rip move or what, if you have your arm wrapped around his freaking neck and he's going like this, it's a damn hold. Nick here said, I'm assuming you're talking about
Lamar.
Nixon.
Yeah.
Or Lamar, sorry. He said he's diagnosed with a bone bruise, not a sprain.
Yep.
Apparently, it's more serious. So, who knows if he's going to play or not? We'll see. And Terry said we need our 4 interception. The thing is that their backup quarterback is pretty good. And they play pretty good with him too. So, we'll see. All right, Blackthorn. I think you guys are overlooking the Ravens. No, not really. I'm saying it's going to be good. No, I'm just saying we blew them out last time. All year long, they have been in almost every game. Look at yesterday's game. They almost beat Green Bay with a backup quarterback. You know, I'm not overlooking them. I've said this before. None of these games are going to be easy. I mean, I think we're going to go 3-1 down the stretch. We got 1 down, 3 to go, or 2 more to go. But no, I'm not overlooking them. I'm just going by what we did last time when we blew them out in Baltimore, and same thing what we did with the Squealers. We blew out the Squealers in Pittsburgh. We blew them out here. That's what we're going with, you know. And the Ravens are a better team than Pittsburgh. I will give them that. So I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I hope it is. But in no way, shape, or form am I overlooking anybody. And neither are the Bengals at this time because they're still in playoff mode. They can't lose. If they lose, basically, I went from thinking we're going to have 2 teams from the AFC North make the playoffs. I think we're going to have 1. I think it's going to be whoever the division winner. I don't think we're going to get a wild card out of here. So I think we have to win the division to get to the playoffs.
Our division foes have a rough remaining schedule. So
none of them are easy.
It's a little crazy right now, but you know, just because I'm saying that I'm expecting, I don't want to say an easy win, but I will not be surprised if the Bengals, you know, the final score is Bengals are up by two touchdowns.
Right.
I will not be surprised only because of the matchup. Now, healthy Huntley, in my opinion, might be a little bit better than an injured Lamar, but still very similar skill set.
Right.
You've got to be wary of Huntley's running, and we are set up to better defend against that QB taking off.
Exactly.
We are less built to handle a team that's got a good lead on us with a powerful offensive line and a running back who makes people miss tackles. And I'm talking about the Browns. We are less built to let them get a lead.
Yeah, I've said this all year long. This defense was built to stop Lamar Jackson. Because he killed us. That's what they built this defense for, to stop him. Crip wants to know, Ice Cap, how long do you think it will take Frank Pollock to build us the Great Wall? 1 year, 2 years? In Frank, we trust. Dude, I think it's pretty good. When they're all healthy, it's pretty good. But I mean, I think at least next year after that, we're gonna have a hell of an offensive line. I think.
I think we'll see. I think it was trending upward before some injuries started kind of.
Oh yeah, the 2 games. Yeah, the 2 games we had the Raiders game, and then what was it? The Squealers. Our offensive line played great as we had Denergy and all them.
I mean, we were ranked the pass block win rate. We were ranked top 13 after going damn near dead last. So that's an enormous leap. I think we're going to see an exponential leap again going into the next season, depending on who they can keep and who they sign. But I could see it again. Now that exponential leap isn't going to be from 13-1.
Yeah,
it's going to be maybe 13-7 because at that top 10, I think it gets a lot harder. I think the gaps are a little bit more pronounced. But I could totally see it. Give these guys 1 more year under Pollock. I teared up a little bit. I think it was Minnick who showed the video of Jackson Carman.
Yeah,
and somebody tried to jump at the throw, and it always made me mad when people would do it to Carlos Dunlap. And I'm like, how to stop jumping? There's somebody's going to put you on your ass.
Right.
And then I'm watching our guys, and Andy Dalton's getting passes batted left and right for no reason other than the fact that we've got an offensive lineman staring at their guy.
Right.
I'm sorry, you leave your feet
on
your ass 100% of the time, and we saw it. Jackson Carman basically threw somebody down. And that's Pollock. That's Pollock teaching these guys. You get that opportunity, you put them on their ass.
Well, yeah, I'll say this too about Fred Johnson, because I think Fred Johnson played a great game. You never heard his name at all. And then last year, I was on the Fred Johnson bandwagon. I wanted him to be a right tackle instead of the swing gate Bobby Hart. So that's where I wasn't that worried about Fred. I thought he's played well when he's been given the opportunities.
At tackle, yeah.
Not a guard.
A lot of people have said, guard was a different animal for him, but he's a damn good tackle, and I think he proved it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know people are asking, should we sign Riley Reeve? I still would like to sign Riley Reeve, but if they don't, I think Fred Johnson seems like a pretty good option, and you still got Deontay Smith, who we haven't seen play yet. And the thing is, what's cool about this year is, yes, we're going through the growing pains of a lot of our backups and some of our starters being rookies. Next year, they're not. They'll be considered veterans. So our backups are going to be even better, and they've gotten playing time. So that's good in itself. I mean, it's bad that we've had to deal with that, but future-wise, that's good moving forward as far as our offensive line goes. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to really get into the draft or anything right now, but I don't see the offensive line being a big issue like in the draft. I think every year you should draft an offensive lineman. I'm not saying, what? Did a heart attack?
First down, Raiders.
We got to get off the show so I can watch it.
They're driving. They're driving.
Come on, Raiders.
Get up 14-0 on them, and it changes the game with a backup QB.
Oh, hell yeah. I cannot. That dude, like, seriously, if they win this era, I'll put what Terry says. He said if Cleveland loses today, that would make 7 AFC losses, which pretty much eliminates them from any wild card spots. And also, Terry said this earlier. If they lose, he thinks they'll put the Clowns in last place too, as well.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the year, the Browns were the darlings of football, and the Bengals are going to win 6 games.
6. Hey, 6 was the high number. People really. I mean, you saw. I think Bengalian retweeted one of the old horrible takes on Hendrickson and how that wasn't. Cheeto and Trey weren't going to work out for us. Horrible.
Right.
And right. And one of the guys like, oh yeah, I can see them, basically moving sideways another 4-win season. I'm like, oh man, and nobody is responding. They're getting mentions blown up, and they're not saying a word. So the one guy works for Football Outsiders. So I like Football Outsiders a lot.
Right.
So I ordered their book.
Okay.
And I really lost. I was so disgusted. I was going to post something. I was going to post a video about it. And I don't even know if I can find the screenshot. But data guys, data scientists, analysts, listen to me. And that includes Pro Football Focus. Anybody in the analytics game. If you are a data scientist, stick to data. Just like, seriously, you probably have spent time in college studying data science. I've spent a lot of time studying various things that I get my hands on for data science. O'Reilly, great resource. Anybody in IT understands that. Safari, their little online service where you get the whole library of stuff. There's tons of stuff. Humble Bundle is a cheap way to get all kinds of great books. No Starch Press will have some great IT stuff. I've spent a lot of time. I still will not call myself a data scientist. I'm not going to go out there.
You're just a mad scientist.
To put out the data scientists who have not taken any media courses or writing. Oh man, Football Outsiders wrote some of the worst, most horrible takes about the Bengals I've ever read. And one of my little ticks, OCD with writing, if you pick a rarely used word, a creative word, one of those words that you're like, oh man, I haven't heard that word in a while, don't use it in the same page twice. And they did.
That becomes a favorite word.
I'm gonna have to find the screenshot of it because I returned the book. I've never returned a book. my
returned the
entire
book.
life because I feel shitty about that. It's like what? I read the book and then I returned. No. I didn't read the book. I was so upset because it was so bad. They basically ignored any data and just started trashing our team.
Oh, screw that. I want to return the book too then.
Oh, yeah. So I returned the book, but I wanted to
Good you guys.
screenshot it because I was going to absolutely roast them.
Right.
And then I'm like, you know what? They're not even worth the time.
There you go.
And one of those guys that said, oh, yeah, they're going to go sideways, 4 wins. He's a data guy for Football Outsiders.
Dude,
I'm like, okay, if you're just that emotional, if you're that emotional, if we make you that emotional, you need to seek counseling. If you're basing your horrible take on data, you need to tweak your model.
Well, what data were they? That's what I wanted to know. These guys who said, like Sports Illustrated said, we're only going to win 2 games. It's like, what did you watch last year? Did you just basing it on a team without Joe Burrow, or you're basing it on a team with Joe Burrow? Because a team with Joe Burrow is going to win more than freaking 6 games.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
Did you watch the kid play last year?
They thought that we made 0 improvement in the offensive line. Did not want to hear anything about Frank Pollock.
Right.
Did not want to hear it. Didn't care. And if your models don't take into account coaching, throw them out.
Yeah.
Throw them out. They're worthless.
Exactly. I get a couple of comments here from Terry here. He said, in theory, we should torch the Baltimore secondary. My problem is San Francisco only allowed 23 points, including overtime with 2 rookie starters. So there's no guarantees we would take advantage of it. Then he rolls back with this one. It says Cleveland has to play Green Bay on a short week, so let's chalk that up as a loss if they are fully healthy. Now, I agree with all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But
I don't agree. But, the 49ers, we had 2 fumbles. We had two
huge fumbles.
That was an absolute killer.
The ball. Yeah, that's the thing that like look, the 2 weeks we lost, Joe Mixon gave him the ball. I love Mixon, and he never fumbled. We had 2 guys who never fumbled the ball. It. Phillips never fumbles the ball. He fumbled it twice. That's what happened. That's like I don't want to even get back into that again. That's what I kept saying. But that was the reason we lost those games. Aquila Great, thanks for the $5 super chat. Facts. Bengals won. That's good. Be happy. Facts. The offensive line play has to be better if we want to make the playoffs and make a run. Well, again, Aquila, it depends on the game. That was a playoff game, dude. That's how playoff games go a lot of times. You're not going to have a big blowout. You're not going to have a big shot. You got to take your shots when you get it, and they did. With that Tyler Boyd touchdown. That's the only shot they had all game, and they took it, and they got it. That was a playoff game.
I agree with the feeling in the statement because absolutely. It feels that way because we're starting out slow. We're not taking advantage where we could. But here's the thing. I'm watching the game, and knowing that Burrow is going to be a Hall of Famer one day, I'm expecting him to hit guys he missed, wide open guys he missed within the first couple of drives.
Right.
Wide open. Could have been huge plays. One of them, I don't know, where he might have been targeting, dude might have taken off. He didn't. We're all go, Carr, go. Oh, man. Carr, that was the whitest thing I have ever seen in my life. Oh, my God.
I gotta stand up. My back is hurting. That's why I'm doing this.
So I won't say the age, but I wasn't young, and one of the last flag football games that I played, in my head I'm still 20. And,
of course,
make fun of me all you want, everybody. So I put a spin move on this dude that in my head was sweet. They all started. The dude just plucked my flag out. And they were laughing so hard, they reenacted it. Like, no, dude, no, this is what you look like. And it was step. Oh, man. like I did a spin move with a walker. And in my head, it was badass.
Right, of course.
And it was the slowest spin move ever. So Carr looked like he was going to try to put the moves on this guy. and just like walked right into a shoulder tackle. But anyway, so yeah, they're kicking a field goal to go up 10-0.
Yeah, that's what Devontae just said. 10-0. All right, let's go in from here from Ben Other. Do you think the attitude of how those that want Zach gone will increase if the Bengals blow? Oh yeah, an easy chance in the playoffs, or do you think people want Zach Taylor that much more of a chance since he made it that much closer this year?
I've watched him move the bar this year.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, I have seen the same people say, I'll be okay if he wins 7 games. Now they're like, nope. So absolutely, they will just be irate. And I think it's ridiculous because the amount of growth to turn over Marvin's old roster.
Completely.
And honestly, partly in Burrow's first season, first season, start of second season, we're talking playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Playoffs.
Playoffs. I hope we just win a game. Playoffs.
And we've beaten some good teams. We've beaten some teams that are
Denver's a good team
in the playoffs.
I mean, people want to bang on Denver's a good team. That's a good defense. Yep. I mean, to be honest, I think they're a quarterback away from being a really good team. I mean, so that's really, I think, what they're missing right there. And that's where everybody keeps coming at me like, they beat Denver. I'm like, Denver's good. they got a two-headed running back. I mean, their defense is legit. They're a good team. So that's where I don't know. It just drives me nuts. I'm excited at work, and some guys are like, yeah, they won. I'm like, they're in first place. Well, we'll see what the Browns do. I'm like, let the Browns lose. They're still in first place. Like, can't anyone just be happy? Like, why does it always be, but this, but that? I'm like, come on.
Yeah, there's always but. And I get it. We want to see that dominant, that dominant Boomer Esiason-led offense.
Mm-hmm.
You know how long that took?
Yeah.
That wasn't rookie year.
Right. Well, Cap, that's the thing too, is people are legitimately saying that Chase is gonna have 1,000 yards, T. Higgins is gonna have 1,000 yards, and Mixon's gonna run for 1,000. And I'm like, yeah, that'd be great. I'm like, I don't know how feasible that is. I said I think we're gonna have a good offense. But what I always kept saying is once you take away T, or you take away Chase, or you take away Boyd, the other one's gonna step up. So yesterday they took away Chase, they took away T for the most part. T made some good plays at the beginning, but Boyd stepped up. I mean, and that's Boyd had 5 receptions for 96 yards yesterday, averaged 19.2 yards a catch, and his longest one was 56 yards. That's the scary part. That's the best part about this offense is you take one thing away, we got another one. You can't take everything away from the Bengals.
Yep. So we've got Joe Burrow on pace to throw for over 4,000 yards. We've already got Mixon over 1,000 yards. We've already got Jamar Chase over 1,000 yards. T. Higgins is at 835 right now.
Mm-hmm.
He can go over 1,000 yards. And honestly, it'll take some work based on what's happened during the season, but Tyler Boyd could too.
Right.
But even if it's just, Mixon, Chase, and Higgins, when's the last time that happened?
Right. Exactly.
Like, that is absolutely phenomenal. It's just when you take the ball away, when you take the ball out of your offense's hands because of turnovers, you're going to affect scoring.
Exactly.
It happens. And then, heaven forbid, the defense turns it into points, offense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then that changes the game plan. Then their defense is teeing off on our QB, and we got to do things a little bit different. So
exactly. Now, Chris here says Trey Taylor should have been our punt returner from the beginning of the season, especially versus the Sucky Niners. I'm not going to, not that I try to disagree with you, but I kind of disagree with you. I mean, other than last week, Bill's been fine. That he screwed up there, but Trey Taylor, he had one semi-okay return. I mean, most of the time he just caught the ball, which is great. That's all we needed him to do.
Well, what I did like about it was he caught the ball and fell forward like nearly every time. He figured out a way to just squeeze through that little hole at the bottom and grab a yard or two.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I'm not saying it's bad or good either way. I'm not saying, oh, we should have put him there. I mean, Phillips did fine, and until the last week. That's pretty much where he screwed up. I always thought he would get us more return yards. I thought he'd make more plays, but he hasn't. And so that's the part that's been most disappointing with me with Phillips is the return yardage. I thought he'd catch it, and I thought he'd actually make some plays, but we'll see. I think Trent Taylor's going to be the punt return moving forward. Terry here. If Cincinnati and Baltimore game is close late in the fourth quarter, we know John Harbaugh will go for it too, and probably fail. That seems to be his calling card of late. Well, maybe, maybe he'll actually learn from it to not do it. I mean, hopefully he won't, and he'll do it again, and we'll stop him.
They are going to go into, and that's the beauty of it. You say what you want. They are still a relatively young team. Lamar Jackson has not really had to face this kind of adversity. Mm-hmm. So I could see them doing some tendency breaking things and maybe not. So we'll see. I can tell you that if they go for a 2-point conversion, it's not going to be that throw to the flat on the right side.
Well, that was what was so stupid about going for it. They cut the field off, and everybody knew you were going to tight end.
The previous, they keep doing that.
Right. The whole, it wasn't necessarily that he went for it. It was the play call, which was just flat dumb. I thought that was just a stupid play call. So anyway, let's see here. Chris says he's never been a Phillips fan. And Charles, did you see the sample hit that wasn't called?
Sample hit, yeah, the late hit.
Where he's laying on the ground. Is that
the killer for me is it wasn't just the worst thing in the world. He got lucky that he avoided his head.
Are you talking about was he laying on the ground
he was already on the ground?
Yeah, I was pissed off about that.
And I mean, here's the thing: he hit him hard enough in the shoulder that his head kind of whipped a little bit. Do I think it was just the worst injury causing type? No, but you know what? It's against the rules. It is a textbook flag. They threw it. They talked about it. They said to the Bengals. And then I pulled an Eli Manning, and then they moved on, which is that's a joke. They're going to apologize to the Bengals through the week. The Bengals will receive a letter from the league.
Oh, we're sorry. We effed up again. My bad.
Yeah, we missed that.
Yeah.
But it never affects the score. They'll just keep issuing apology letters knowing that nothing will happen. There's zero accountability with NFL officiating.
Exactly. All right. I'm just going with Lindsay because I'm going to mess up the first name. But she says she likes my hat and they need to win for her birthday.
I'm going to guess Keita.
Keita. All right, we'll go with that.
I'm going to guess, yeah. Well, she can tell me if that's right or not.
I'm glad you took a shot at that. I screw so many people's names up. I try not to. Jeff Cap, I think Harbaugh went for 2 because he doesn't trust his defense to make a stop against the Raiders.
But that's what's killing me. So the article, I'm not going to take credit for this. I was already kind of thinking it, but the article that I was referencing, I retweeted it. But it said it perfectly. They still, if they would have got it, Rodgers would still have 42 seconds.
Right.
That's all he needed.
Yeah, he don't need
us to go drive down the field and attempt a field goal.
Dude, he can throw the ball 50 yards at a Hail Mary. I mean, we've seen him do it.
I mean, so he left way too much time there. Mm-hmm. And basically the article said, if you're going to go for it, why wouldn't you go for it on the previous touchdown, knowing that maybe you've got to go for it here. If it wasn't successful, you go for it here to tie it, go to overtime.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, yeah, he messed that up bad.
All right. Terry says, Mark Andrew does scare me. I need an Irmo to figure out how to stop a tight end because we're facing Kelsey immediately after Baltimore. I don't know if we're ever going to figure that out because we haven't been able to figure out how to stop a tight end in 2 years. That's and without Logan Wilson, I think our best shot is Logan Wilson, and I would be surprised if he's back this next week. And Devontae says, so do we have to win the last 3 games of the year to get in the playoffs? Not the last 3. I think we got to beat. We got obviously got to
2-1.
We got 2-1. We got to win our division games. We got to beat the Ravens and we got to beat the Clowns. We beat them. The division's ours, and we're going to the playoffs.
And
now,
that's
I have a question. Do you think
that's with no help?
Do you think with no help at all? Yeah, that's just the Bengals doing it in their own hands. If they win a division, do all division winners do you get a home game or is it a
Yeah.
So
division, yeah. So
okay,
if we
I
win the
thought so,
division,
yes.
there will be a home game.
Okay.
instantly.
I thought so. I couldn't remember that.
So and to the Mark Andrews, I wanted to get the exact number because I thought so. He had 3 receptions against us, 48 yards, and a fumble. So, yeah, I mean, I realize maybe it was a rough game, but I think it was a rough game because of our defense.
Right. Hey, Natty likes your beard.
Well, thank you, Natty. It's man, I don't know if it's the lighting, but I'm like it's a little gray.
See, you can't.
Yeah,
see, mine's not that big, so you can't see my gray.
this thing right here keeps wanting to flip out. What is that guy? Just pull it out there. Let's just go off.
Let it flow. Just run your hands through the beard. There you go. Let's see here. A couple more, and I think we're gonna get on out of here. Browns missed a field goal apparently. 10-0. Raiders at half.
Oh wow, yeah, just
Browns missed a field goal.
Choke.
And Devontae says we're going to blow out the Ratbirds this week. I hope so.
I won't be surprised if we do. I will be very surprised. I mean, I would be shocked if the Ravens beat us at home.
Dude, I will be surprised either way. I'll tell you this, because I was shocked as hell that we blew the Squealers out at home. I thought it was going to be a close game, and we blew them out. So nothing will surprise me. As long as we win, I won't be surprised if we blow them out. I won't be surprised if it's a game like yesterday. I won't be surprised if it comes down to Money Mac and a field goal.
I feel like it's better for us just because, again, it's a division game.
Right.
We worked basically to beat them.
Mm-hmm.
We've built that up now. Now we've got it in place. We know them. We know what we're dealing with. We've already played them once this year. We played them a couple times last year. The staff has built up this acquaintance with them, and they are who they are. It's not like they're going to substitute some big-armed QB who can sling. They don't have a Justin Herbert,
right,
who can sling it down the field. They don't have a Burrow waiting on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
It's Lamar Jackson and a guy whose play style looks like Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Now,
exactly.
I didn't watch enough. I saw some of his escapability. I saw some of the running ability. I didn't watch enough to, look at his downfield accuracy. But I've never been impressed with Lamar in that respect.
Lamar can throw the ball. He's just not. He's not that accurate. That's where I'm always.
He's great. Now he'll hit a wide open receiver anywhere on the field. But
dropping
there
it
are very
in
few times where I'm like, wow, and I'll tweet about it like, wow, that Lamar actually got a really, really good throw. Whereas Joe Burrow, I feel like it's once a game where like, how on earth did he make that throw? So it's just two different types of QBs.
I have to go check out Eli Apple's Twitter, but Eli Apple has already cooked the bear this week.
Eli
was
going off.
Was he?
Oh, man, he was funny as hell yesterday. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter. Like Eli's mom kind of stepped in and said, if you think these guys need extra motivation, you're crazy. No.
Right. Yeah.
That's
what everybody said about TB when he made those comments about the Squealers saying they quit.
Yep.
Dude, they get paid to play, man.
Eli's not saying anything really specific. He's not calling out any individual person that's going to make them concentrate more in practice. And it is. I could see them starting Lamar because they feel like he gives them the best shot with limited mobility, which is going to be an enormous mistake.
Devontae's asking, is Lamar going to play this week?
I bet he does.
I would be surprised if he doesn't. But
yeah, they haven't said really either way, but I bet he does.
Exactly. All right, guys, about 6:30. I want to go watch some of this Clowns game. Hope they lose. You got any parting words before I let you go? And we do this again next Monday.
Sunday. Tickets are selling fast.
Woohoo!
All my 13 seats for the rest of the year gone.
All
Ravens,
right.
Chiefs gone. I'm sorry, I can't help out. If I get my hands on anything else, I will try my best to help y'all out. But seriously, if you're even halfway thinking, treat yourself. It's Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody.
It's a blast, people.
Treat yourself. Go to the game. It doesn't matter where you sit. You know, see us all in a concourse. You know, have a beer with us. Chug something in the parking lot. Go tailgate. It is a blast. I'm seeing the weather should be cooperative for us. It might be a little bit cold, but you know what? Bundle up.
It's supposed to be cold.
It's going to be a blast. And if you're there and we absolutely destroy the Ravens to catapult us even further to that playoff bid when no one said we could, you get to say that you were there. You were part of that history. Go look up tickets right now. Go on Bengals.com. Click on tickets. Look them up. Trust me, you're going to want to be there. I want to see you there. Hooday. Merry Christmas. Love you all.
He's out. Mic drop. See ya. All right, guys. I cannot wait till this Sunday. I'm so fired up. It's a divisional game. Everything the Bengals need is right in front of them. Another huge game. All these games are big games. I said it was a must-win yesterday. This is a must-win. This is a must-win. The Browns game is a must-win. Now, the only with the Chiefs, depending on when they come in, if they clinch the division or whatever, depending on how they're going. But this week's a must-win. We need the Clowns to lose. I cannot wait. I'm having so much fun going to the Bengals games, hang out with Cap, hang out with Hubei, hang out with Orange Arrow. I'm hoping, which Cap's still in the waiting room, I'm hoping next year I can move down next to Cap and Hubei. I'm trying to see if they'll. So to Cap, you need to tell the people that sit around you got to give me 2 seats. You know, Strawberry Ice is coming down. Anyway, let me get to the Facebook groups that let me live stream. And I appreciate every single one of you guys. And they are Houday Nation, Houday Legion, Bearcat Ruckus, Bearcat Country, Cincinnati Reds riding third, heading for home, the Ohio State Bucknuts, the Ice Bar, and you can follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. You can follow me on all those. TikTok is at Jeff A. Trunable. Or excuse me, TikTok is at Iceman90. Twitter is at Jeff A. Trunable. Follow it there. I'll be pulling a sound off later on tonight and putting it on the podcast. So if you missed any of the stuff that me and Cap talked about and you don't want to sit or watch this for an hour, you can listen to it. So check it out. It's on BeanPod, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure you rate, like, and review. Give me a 5-star review. I would greatly appreciate it. And please leave a comment so more Cincinnati fans can find my podcast. YouTubers, you guys are awesome. My originals, I always say my originals, got started out as a YouTube channel. It's at 1,424 subscribers. That is awesome. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors. I'm trying to get up to 2,000 by the time the Super Bowl rolls around. I think it's going to be a big get right now, but we'll see what happens. So please tell everybody to subscribe to Sports with Strawberry Ice. You get great content like this. I'm on the air every day, Monday through Friday. Now, tomorrow, hopefully, I got to confirm it. He hasn't answered me back yet, but I think Malik Wright is going to be on the show tomorrow so we can discuss more Bengals talk and AFC playoffs and just have a lot of fun. And other than that, as my boy, Jeremy Dimebag D's Nuts likes to say, which I don't know if he's ever come back on the show again or not. Eventually he will. He says, remember one thing and one thing only. And that is, you don't live in Cleveland, you live in Cincinnati, so act like it. Go Raiders, kick the Clowns' ass, and make the Bengals in first place all by themselves. And that's just sports, baby. See ya!
Let's go. Stripes, 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 stripes. Yeah. Stripes, stripes, stripes. Yeah. Stripes, stripes, stripes. Yeah. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black, and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, Houday, we ignite and stripes. Cincinnati, we gon' rise and in the jungle we unite and dripping orange and black and off the leash. In the jungle dripping heat, tigers stripe the city streets. East side stand up, west side stand up. If you reppin' who they, time to put your hands up. Bengals stripes, we in it. New day, new age, yeah, we get it. Cincinnati jungle fitted. Who they in our house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earn our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping. Nasty, natty, yeah, we live it. Lit the crowd, get the city loud. Yeah, we feasting now. Fit the pounce, make the city howl. Now we beastin' now. Thunder through the tunnel, from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes we tatted on the jungle when we flex that who they muscle on them. Stripes, Cincinnati, we gon' rise in in the jungle, we unite in dripping orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Stripes. Now who wanna move crossing on? Stripes. Now who wanna move on? If you got stripes, then you let the city know you rock 'em. Yeah, we got 'em. Yeah, we fought 'em. Like that black and orange up on 'em. Bingo ball 'em. Never stop it till the beast of feasting on 'em. Who they rockin' with the diamond stripes, flossing on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen. We gon' show the world who